Welcome back to Second Short. It is Friday, October 18th, 2024. I am joined by Luke, as per usual here on a Friday. We've got a lot going on. NFL Week 7 is underway. At the time of recording, the Dodgers hold a 2-1 lead in the NLCS, and the Yankees lead the Guardians 2-0. In the last week, Poch ball has officially taken over the United States. Everybody's freaking out about Mauricio Pochettino and what he's done for the U.S. team. I certainly am so excited, and I loved watching it.
Yeah.
And then, meanwhile, that is international break's over. Premier League and Champions League make their returns this week. Got a pretty decent Premier League slate this weekend, and quite a few notable Champions League matches, I would say. How are we feeling, Luke?
I feel like I was just going to say, I feel like we haven't really been able to talk about like 3 decent games in the Premier League yet. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
I feel like we've just had kind of some shitters, but we're in slate for some good ones this week.
I think it's because a lot of teams are underperforming as of right now. A lot more underperformers that were unexpected than overperformers that weren't expected.
Yeah, and honestly, like 2024 really stacking up to be a very good sports year. I mean, you have college football is a mess. You had the international tournaments over the summer, which feels so long ago. Like, I can't even believe that even happened this summer.
Does feel like a while ago.
Yeah, the Premier League is crazy, and this postseason has just been so awesome in the MLB. I've really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think it's
the Yankees fan.
Yes, of course you have. I think that the CS is a little bit less entertaining than it was last year, only because there's not like the fun storylines of the Cinderella teams. Last year we had 3 teams. Yeah. Like last year it was one team that got a bye, made it into the CS. This year 3 of the 4 teams had a bye and made it to the CS. So I don't know, it doesn't feel as like, as miraculous that some of those teams are in those positions.
I don't know, but I think just the fact that there could be a Subway Series World Series would be just nuts. That's what I'm hoping for.
I'm going to be honest. If the Guardians don't make it, I'm going to hate the World Series. Because
the Yankees are in it automatically?
I don't want to see the Yankees in the World Series. I've already said that. I'll take that to the grave. I don't want to see Yankees Dodgers. That's just proving it's pay to win. If we see Yankees Dodgers, it's pay to win. And I guess Yankees Mets is as well. And I also hate the Mets.
Yeah.
So I'm screwed. I already know that unless the Guardians somehow come back and win this series, I'm not going to be happy with whoever's in the World Series.
That's fair.
But that's just me being annoyed that the Braves are out. I'll be honest. It is. We got a lot of things to cover today. NFL Week 7, MLB Playoffs, Premier League weekend, Champions League Matchday 3, and questions time, which Nathan did submit early, making up for last week and his horrible late-minute submission of a question.
Yeah.
Luke, anything we need to get into before we get into NFL Week 7?
Did you know that Ocean Alley dropped a song on the 9th?
I did not, and I will be listening to that as soon as we're done here.
It's more rocky. It's off of the indie a little bit. Yeah. It's called Tangerine. Everybody should check it out, but especially Grayson, because I know that's a band that we share.
For sure.
So,
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I will be checking that out. But before that, let's get into NFL Week 7. Got a lot of interesting games, I would say. Not the best slate of the year. Seems to be a trend, but we'll start with Thursday night's game, the game that you guys already know what happened in. Broncos a 3-point favorite on the road versus the Saints. Are the Broncos really going to win?
They definitely could. I mean, their defense is probably prime to just shit on Spencer Rattler.
That's what my thought was, too. This is also Sean Payton's first game back in New Orleans. That is an interesting point here. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Also, Spencer Rattler sucks. So does Bo Nix most of the time. So I don't know.
Bo Nix is going to outplay him.
Probably. Yeah. Especially we just got the news Rashid Shaheed will be on the IR. Potentially season ending. I don't know if he had to have. So the whole conversation was he either has to get like a cleanup surgery or a full repair surgery, and they weren't sure what it is. I haven't seen word yet. He might miss the rest of the season, though.
I think history, should tell you that you always go with the full repair.
Exactly. Exactly.
Don't just clean it up.
Yeah. I agree. And I wish we could clean up this matchup because I think it's going to be a mess. I hate it.
Yeah. Score prediction?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Congratulations, because you guys already know what happened. Congratulations to the New Orleans Saints in their upset victory, 13-10 over the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, and I'm going to completely. You picked the Saints to win.
Yep. I went with the Saints.
Man.
Marshawn Lattimore is not going to let anything fly with Bo Nix.
You know what? I'm actually going to stick with you. I'm gonna say huge game for AK, 13-10. AK is going to have like 8 receptions, I think.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, AK is going to go crazy.
Yeah.
AK went crazy last night.
Yeah, but then again, with that Broncos defense, they'll know the ball's going to AK. So sure. I mean, maybe I don't know. I feel like this one could go either way, but I'm going to
worry about Olave. Spencer Rattler still throws the ball. He's just not great at it.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to another horrendous matchup over in London. Jaguars, second straight week in London. This time it's a home game. Patriots coming out to London, face the Jaguars. Jags 5.5-point favorites against Drake May in his second career start.
Yeah. I mean, really, what is there to say? Shout out Tank Bigsby, I guess.
Yeah, Tank Bigsby.
He's kind of all right.
Okay, here. We'll just have this conversation. If Drake May beats the Jags, how soon does Doug Peterson get fired? Me and Colin already had this discussion. We said it would probably, if they wait till that bye week, he's going to be in the grave by then. Because I think their bye week is like week 11, and they just have to run the gauntlet once they come back to the States.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they do. Packers, Eagles, Vikings, Lions, Texans.
And then they go, and they have that bye. I think they have the bye between Lions and Texans.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, not gonna be fun.
Probably, I'll give him Tuesday. He'll get through Monday.
Oh, okay. So, like, you think it's like he just now gets back stateside and like he gets taken into what's the owner's name? Shad Khan's office, and he goes, "Pack up your shit."
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna be honest. Especially if Fulham loses this weekend. There's no chance for Doug Peterson.
Bad mood.
Yeah.
Doug Peterson hopes that Fulham wins more than he hopes that the Jaguars win.
Well, there's probably a higher chance.
Yeah.
Fulham, not bad. We're going to be talking about their match. It's a good one.
Yep.
But yeah, Patriots, Jags, there's nothing to be excited for on the field right now.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I'm pretty sure Christian Barmore got detained the other day. I saw that.
Yeah, he was claiming like racial profiling. Yeah. I think I don't know exactly what happened.
Me neither.
But,
I didn't watch the video. I just heard about it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't think he's in trouble. I believe he'll be with the team. Yeah, look, the Jags are a 5.5-point favorite, which I do think is kind of crazy with how bad they've been. And this is a London game, and these games just don't tend to be blowouts.
Dude, if it rains, good fucking luck.
Oh God.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I'm going to take probably New England 13-0 shutout.
Oh, God. Okay. I'm going to go with New England as well. Both taking a big-time upset. Only because Drake May, maybe a little unpredictable. Trevor's pretty predictable right now. Bad.
Very.
That's the prediction. Very. Bad. Drake May, unpredictable. Demario Douglas could always show up. You never know.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the Patriots. I'm going to 17-10 Patriots. Let's bring it back stateside. Talk about Bird versus Bird. Seahawks, Falcons. Falcons 3-point favorites at home. This one will be an aerial battle. 100% between these two Bird teams. They're going to be throwing the ball.
Especially with Bijan kind of getting stopped a little bit past couple weeks, I definitely think so.
Last week was a good bounce back because the Panthers' run defense sucks. But I agree with you.
True. Definite aerial battle. I'm excited to see because Kirko and Geno, they throw the ball good. That's one thing that I'll give them. Like, Kirk may not be the most accurate, but he has some whiz on it, some cheese whiz. So
Geno is definitely not accurate.
Yeah, just
As a
please
DK
let's.
Metcalf owner in fantasy, I'm more than aware.
As a Jackson Smith and Jigba owner in fantasy, I'm also well aware.
Yeah.
um, yeah, I mean, defenses beware in this
Yes.
one.
Yeah.
We're gonna have no secondary.
I'm kind of just excited to see Kirk kind of get back to work this week. Last week didn't really throw the ball as much because we were kind of looking at the running attack versus the Panthers, and it worked out in our favor. We put up 30. So I think this week you get back to passing the ball. Seahawks, these last 3 games, they've lost all 3. Teams are just tossing the ball all over them. Like the worst pass performance that's happened in these last 3 games they've lost was against Daniel Jones, and he still put up 250 without Malik Neighbors. So, like Brock Purdy had a great week last week against them. So I just think that Seattle's defense is so bad. And Reek Woolen went down, and he's not going to play. And likely no Trey Brown either for Seattle. So I'm really liking the fact that the Falcons could just run shit up right here. Still got to work on the pressure, though. We're not pressuring quarterbacks nearly enough. We have the least sacks in the NFL right now, which is annoying considering every fucking year we're talking about overhauling the defensive line, and we just don't. Or it doesn't work. The moves that we make don't work. I'm pretty sure there's somebody has a lot of sacks right now, and I can't think of who it is, but that player has more sacks than the Falcons. But I don't know. I can't put my finger on who that is. I don't know why. Nonetheless, this offense for the Seahawks is weird as well. Geno, sometimes he's good, sometimes he's horrible. And
same with Kenneth Walker, too.
Yeah, and like Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet can't decide who's the better running back, and neither can Ryan Grubb, their offensive coordinator. And then also, both of them could be the worst running back that day. Somehow.
Very true. And they had that same issue last year. I remember you talked about that a lot, is they just couldn't figure out who the guy was over there. And it shows on the field. But I want to go back to Atlanta's offense for a second, and I want to shout out 2 guys on y'all's team.
Yeah.
2 new players, actually. Ray McLeod and Darnell Mooney.
Dogs.
I like dogs, yeah. And I think that's a big reason why the Falcons have been able to, be so good is they're not just one receiver in Drake London. Like they get some work from Kyle Pitts, Darnell Mooney, and Ray McLeod. And I think that's, really, really good. And Bijan out of the backfield. They have just so many options. Way more than last year.
Yeah.
Way more than last year.
Yeah, and like people were talking about like, going into the season, like, oh, Drake London needs help. Like, we need to trade for a wide receiver. We need to, that's going to be our first round pick in the draft. I'm chilling with Darnell Mooney as is. And yeah, maybe you want to draft a 2nd or 3rd round wide receiver this coming year, just because Ray McLeod's getting up there in age and he's not necessarily like a focal point in this offense for the years to come. But, things could happen here in Atlanta with this receiving core to get better, but with what we have right now, I couldn't be happier.
Oh yeah, I completely agree.
Let's get some score predictions. I'm thinking definitely gonna roll with the Falcons. We've been putting up a lot of points, and I'd like to keep it that way. I'm gonna go Falcons 31, Seahawks 21.
Falcons 31, Seahawks 21. Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to go Falcons 31, Seahawks 17.
Okay.
Yeah, because, one thing that we didn't really talk about, Geno slings it, but he hadn't played Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons yet, so they're definitely going to be hawking, or at least they should be.
Count on DK Metcalf to have a long touchdown against AJ Terrell's weak ass.
Count on Jackson Smith and Jigba to not put up any points in fantasy football.
Yeah, not with our linebackers. All right. Titans, Bills. Bills, 9-point favorite. I think this game's gross, other than wanting to watch Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Because, the Bills, they're a 9-point favorite. Really more because it's more the Texans' fault, or the Titans' fault, sorry. It's more the Titans' fault that the Bills are a 9-point favorite. The Bills haven't really been helping themselves out all that much.
Not at all. That Monday night game was really close.
Oh, yeah, that was
super close.
Nasty. And, I think Josh Allen getting a weapon like Amari Cooper is exactly what he needed.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. It's going to be the best like receiver he's probably ever had. Way better than Stephon Diggs. Probably going to be a better teammate than Stephon Diggs as well. And on Amari Cooper's side, it's probably the most talented arm talent he's ever going to play with
by far.
So it's we got an exciting pairing brewing, and for the fantasy owners like me who have Keon Coleman, we're fucked. And
but that also,
but at least I have Amari Cooper as well.
It could be better. Josh was throwing a little bit less passes than usual, and he was throwing really inaccurately. Maybe we see Amari Cooper give him some confidence at the wide receiver position and help out everybody else.
I mean, that could definitely be true as well.
Yeah. Not much else to talk about. The Titans are fucking garbage. Like, they're so bad.
Completely.
I hate watching them right now.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the Steelers give up Russell Wilson for DeAndre Hopkins, but I guess you don't trade away your starting quarterback. So
yeah, that'll be a topic in the next couple of minutes. But let's go score predictions just to get the idea of the Titans out of my mind. I'm thinking
Bills 24, Titans 10.
I'm gonna go Bills 28, Titans 7.
Okay.
Amari Cooper,
Nice.
2 touchdowns in his debut.
I hope so.
Crazy pull. Next game, Bengals 5.5-point favorites on the road in the other side of Ohio, facing the Cleveland Browns. What are we thinking here? The Bengals are certainly going to run their shit because the Browns aren't winning another game until either Nick Chubb is healthy or Deshaun Watson gets benched.
Yeah. No, Nick Chubb might be
so
the
bad.
thread that the Browns need. Yeah, they're hot garbage, dude.
And now they don't have Amari Cooper.
Jerry Jeudy time, baby.
Yeah, that's what we said in Denver last year.
Yeah. David Njoku shouldn't be your best target if you want to win a game.
No, he shouldn't be. He is, but he should not be. I definitely agree with that.
Shout out David Njoku, but he's
great.
not number one.
He's great, but he shouldn't be number one. There's very few tight ends in this league that should be the number one option. And by very few, I mean Travis Kelce. That's really it.
Exactly. and then, if you look on the Bengals side, they kind of struggled on Sunday night against a team that a lot of people shit on in New York without Malik Neighbors. Of course, that Bengals defense, man, oh my God.
It's so beat
they're
up.
so bad.
They're so injured, though.
Horrible.
They are.
Very horrible. But even, the Bengals offensively against the Giants, and I wouldn't say that the Giants necessarily have like a killer defense, especially when you have guys like T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and, Chase Brown, Zach Moss on your team. But, they really couldn't do anything going, and this Browns defense is going to be a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, definitely. I think what it comes down to me is just that the Bengals have the ability to score. Cleveland can't score.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing. Like, the Bengals are going to pull away just by, like, scoring 2 touchdowns, and all of a sudden it's out of Cleveland's reach.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
And obviously the Bengals will make some field goals. But, yeah, I don't see a world where the Browns score touchdowns.
No, but I'm going to go ahead and give them one, 21-7.
Okay.
Bengals.
Yeah, I'm going to let them score one as well, and I'll have them kick a field goal just because the Bengals defense has been pretty actually 2 field goals. I'm going to give them a cool 13 points for the Browns, but the Bengals will beat them 27-13.
Okay.
On to our next game, Texans Green Bay. What are we thinking here? I love it. The Packers are 2.5-point favorite at home. If I had to assume, considering we are into the second half of October, it will be cold in Green Bay. That's pretty safe assumption, I think. I will be checking the weather as we speak. But what are we thinking about the QB matchup here?
It's going to be some slingers, man, and that's I think what I'm most excited for. 2 guys that I really like in play action. I feel like they're kind of like Aaron Rodgers-y in play action. It's very beautiful, nice to watch. I don't know how to necessarily separate these 2 teams, to be honest with you. It's going to be a good one. I think it could be very shootouty. I don't see a world where it's not close.
Mm-hmm.
because both of these quarterbacks have the mantra of get back in the game as well.
Yeah.
So I feel like even if a team pulls away, you'll see the other team come back. Yeah, this one's going to be awesome.
Yeah, these are two teams that have done such great jobs in the fourth quarter of games. And I think what it comes down to is just who's going to be more consistent with their offense, because both these offenses are more than capable of doing the exact same things. They could run it all over you with their running backs in Joe Mixon and Josh Jacobs, because Joe Mixon right back to his shit from last week. He comes back and he's just like, all right, I'm gonna run for over 100 yards on 13 carries and have a receiving touchdown on top of my rushing touchdown. He was unreal last week coming back really, from injury.
The whole rush game too. Damian Pierce got in there and had his best game since like 2007. Yeah, crazy,
unreal. And then even without Nico Collins last week, the Texans still showed they've got the ability to win with just Diggs and Dell.
Oh, their depth is crazy though. There, it's they're so good there, and even Schultz getting involved as well. Yeah. I liked it. Yeah, they had a good game.
I do have to put this out there. I always talk about this. When teams wear jerseys that I really like, they tend to do really well. And the Packers are wearing all white jerseys.
But it's only the one that Grayson likes though. Only the jerseys Grayson likes.
I point it out every time. I've done it. I did it with the Texans a couple weeks ago when they wore those special Houston jerseys. Anybody that wears special jerseys is gonna win.
So what happens? What happens when you have a game like when the Eagles wore the Kelly green and the Seahawks wore their classic uniform? Because they're both badass.
They are both badass. The Seahawks one is cooler. The Kelly green jersey is overrated. I think it's a cool color of green, but it's nothing special. It's just a green jersey.
I don't know. There's something about it, though. I like it.
I don't know. The Seahawks one's way cooler. I was sitting, me, Mike, Colin, and Nathan were in Discord watching Thursday Night Football last week, and I was, looking at the NFL shop to buy the jacket that Mike McDonald was wearing on the sidelines. That's how much I like that one. And I'm colorblind. I couldn't name a color that they wear in that throwback color scheme. But I love the way it looks.
Damn. Oh, dude.
Last thing before score predictions. Green Bay wide receivers are the most unpredictable performers ever. The only thing that will happen is if Christian Watson's healthy, he'll catch a pass for 45+ yards. That's the only thing I can confidently say. But I have no idea if Romeo Doubs is going to have a great game, because last week he kind of had a great game. He had 2 touchdowns, 3 receptions on 3 targets. What the fuck? And then every now and then it'll just be Dontavian Wicks Day, and Jaden Reed will just have 5 rushes for 40 yards and then receive 65 yards and a touchdown. I have no idea. And Tucker Kraft's could have a day. Who knows?
Yeah,
they are the most unpredictable bunch, but Jordan Love is so predictable. He's going to throw 40 passes, probably go 30 for 40 for 300 yards and a couple of touchdowns. That's just what he's doing right now. Maybe throw a pick.
Yeah.
But they're so unpredictable when it comes to these wide receivers. Okay, now let's do score predictions. What do you got?
I like it. 34-31. Pack.
Love that. I'm definitely going Green Bay's side, because those jerseys, honestly, is the difference maker here, and also a field goal for me as well.
And also a field goal.
I'm going to go 27-24, maybe a little bit lower scoring than anticipated. I think there's a lot of pressure on, and these two teams have been a little bit shaky against good teams when they're playing in the first half.
That is true.
All right, Dolphins-Colts. Ew. Disgusting. The Colts are a 3-point favorite because somebody has to be favored in a matchup as bad as this. The Dolphins' passing yard leader is still Tua.
Yeah.
He threw 480.
It tells you everything you need to know.
2.5 games. He threw 480. And we're in week 7. And nobody has surpassed him yet. You also have A-Chain and Javon Holland, both questionable in this. And then on the Indy side, every offensive contributor is questionable. Jonathan Taylor,
even Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor. Richardson was a weird case because we talked about it last week. He wasn't technically benched or put on the IR. They just put him at QB3 because he wasn't going to play. But they didn't consider him out. I don't know. I think it's a whole IR designation issue.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But I think Flacco is still starting, but I don't know.
I think it's Richardson, dude.
We'll see. It should be.
I think it's Richardson.
I think it should be if he's fully healthy. Why not? But Jonathan Taylor, Trey Sermon, Michael Pittman Jr., and Josh Downs are all questionable.
Fuck.
And I'm pretty sure like 3 of them didn't practice today.
Yeah, not looking good for the Colts.
Yeah, brutal.
It really hasn't been looking good for the Colts for a while.
No.
But you know what? On the Dolphins side, I really respect what they did last week against the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
They ran the fuck out of the ball and
that's
did
what
it
they
very
need
well.
to do against everybody. That's their only chance.
Unfortunately, yeah. Unfortunately.
And like if A-Chain does end up playing, I know he's trying to clear concussion protocol, which is not something you can just like do.
Yeah. Totally forgot they had Odell.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah, he's emerged as somebody on the field. It's not like he's been great because nobody can throw him the ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they have A-Chain, Mostert, and Jalen Wright, they're going to be fine in the running game. It's just if a team can score points, which the Colts can't score points. It's just about the consistency at which they do it.
Exactly.
That's the biggest problem. But let's hear a score prediction out of you. What do you got?
I'm actually going to go with the Dolphins here. I'm going to take the Dolphins 20, Colts 14.
Okay. I'm going to go. I just don't know if the Dolphins can score 20 points. I'm going to go Colts.
They were 5 away last week.
Yeah, that's a weird number to fill. weird 5 points to make up.
Yeah.
That is how many points Kennesaw State scored on Tuesday night against Middle Tennessee, though. 5.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. They were down 7-2 at one point. Let's see. I'm going to go Colts 20, Dolphins 14.
Okay.
Mostert and Wright with a touchdown. Lions, Vikings, best matchup of the week.
Yeah.
Best matchup of the week. Vikings are a 1.5-point favorite at home. Lions, it does suck that there's no Hutchinson. He would have been the game changer on this one. He really would have. If you could put a lot of pressure on Sam Darnold, I would like to see what would happen. They can't do that now.
No.
They just can't. It's not
they cannot.
How this defense is set up. It was kind of just Hutchinson applying the pressure up front. I still love the matchup because the offenses are going to be rolling. If I had
oh
to
my
guess.
God, dude. I can't believe 47-9 in Jerry World.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah. And that one,
unbelievable.
I'm convinced that they did that for Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, just ran it up.
They really turned it the fuck up when he got hurt.
Yeah. And they didn't need to.
No, they didn't.
Not at all.
Like, they kept scoring. And, like, if Hendon Hooker and who's that back? Khalif Raymond, if they were aware that that point record could have been broken, I think they probably would have broken it.
Yeah. Shout out Hendon Hooker for getting out there, too.
Love Hendon Hooker. Wish he was still at Tennessee. I think Josh Heupel might sometimes as well.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I will say this. I think this is one of those games where I think Jared Goff is on turnover watch.
Yes.
This is a defense you don't want to mess around with. Grenard and Dallas Turner coming around the edge is going to be scary because Goff likes to get pressured and throw picks. And we know the phenomenon. If he throws multiple picks, they're going to lose. I'm kind of afraid that might happen.
Yeah, me too. And I don't know. I would like to see Addy get more involved if the Vikings are going to win on offense.
Agreed.
Just, kind of spread the ball around a little bit more. Maybe try to get Aaron Jones going a little bit better. I don't know why Ty Chandler's getting reps.
Yeah,
that's kind of weird.
Did he get hurt last week or was that the week before?
I think it was the week before.
Yeah. It's just it's an interesting offense with Sam Darnold. It's not bad whatsoever. They're actually really good. It's just kind of all over the place where you're going to get your contributions from.
Yeah, and I also want to make this to be known as well. Stephon Gilmore is still a very good cornerback in this league.
But does not match up well with Amon-Ra St. Brown.
No.
Not at all.
Not at all.
No. I know. Do you have any thoughts on Amon-Ra St. Brown? Like your wide receiver said?
Wait, what did
Oh, you didn't hear
I
this?
don't even know.
Yeah, George Pickens said something about something to the effect, essentially calling Amon-Ra St. Brown slant boy,
Mm.
which he isn't wrong. But also,
No,
George
but
Pickens does not need to be talking shit on anybody right now.
yeah, that's very true.
I called him a
I actually
slot
did not hear about
merchant.
that. Yeah, a slot merchant.
Yeah.
I mean, you
He
know
said,
what?
oh,
Like,
yeah, and he was explaining it. Sorry to cut you off. He's explaining it as, like, George Pickens considers himself disadvantaged by playing on the outside because there's slot merchants like Amon-Ra St. Brown. But who in the fuck is comparing those two?
yeah, George Pickens apparently.
Nobody is ever
Yeah.
going to be like, well, Amon-Ra St. Brown's better than George Pickens. First of all, yeah, he is. Second of all, they're not in the same conversation.
No, they're
George Pickens
two
is
totally
a
different people.
B-tier wide receiver.
What?
Maybe C-tier.
Oh, Grayson, I don't know about all that.
If we're talking like a real tier list, he ain't top 5, he ain't top 10, and he's probably not top 15.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. I kind of disagree.
Okay.
I think, definitely if you're going by stats, yes, but George does things that like D-Hop did in his prime. He just doesn't get the ball a lot. I think the catch radius is there, catching traffic is there. His route running's not all that bad, and his run after catch is pretty good too.
Well, then certainly Russ should be an upgrade for him at quarterback. Yeah. Yeah. Have fun with that. Let's talk about the Lions.
23-20
Thank you.
Vikings.
Okay. I'm going to go a little bit higher scoring maybe, but I'm going to go with the Lions in an upset. Give me the Lions 24. Lions 24, Vikings 23. I think the Vikings are going to kick a number of field goals this week.
Playing for Hutch.
Yeah, playing for Hutch. All right, next game. Eagles -3 on the road against the Giants. Tell me why.
I'm actually so excited for this game.
Me too.
So excited for this game.
Unless the Eagles just run the ball. Why will they not run the ball? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know that you brought back the wide receivers that were hurt, except Britton Covey. You brought back the two that matter, and that would open the door for you to run the ball. Because the weeks when they were gone, every team just stacked the box on you, and Saquon couldn't break free for anything.
Yep.
Now you bring them back, and you still don't use Saquon. Totally makes no sense.
I don't know. I mean, 18 carries, 47 yards. That just sounds like he couldn't get going.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't feel right now. Saquon's a 25 carry guy.
You know what? I'm taking the Giants in this game. I'm not giving a score prediction, but I just wanted to let you know that the Eagles are the most fuck-ass team in the NFL right now, and Nick Sirianni is a dumbass.
Okay. I like this. I like where this is coming from.
The fans in almost every situation have every right to say what they want to say.
Yes.
In my opinion. Unless, if they're hurting players on the field, fuck them. But if they're just yelling and talking shit, you deserve it, Sirianni.
Yeah.
Like, your team is cringe.
Agree.
Everybody on your team is cringe. And I really think that, like, the Eagles, dude, with the talent they have, they should be so much better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Than what they are now.
I think
it's all Nick Sirianni's fault.
I agree. I've been shouting the hatreds of Sirianni. I was going to say praises, but the opposite.
I loved him at first.
As soon as he cried and like was like bringing up movie references in the locker room before the Super Bowl, I knew I was done with him. So no, I think like I've said this a number of times. Nick Sirianni is a cornball. Brian Dable is a ball physically. Malik Neighbors is likely back from the concussion, which I think is a huge plus for the Giants. Then again, everybody is banged up. Last week, everybody got licked. Like you had, I think Wan'Dale Robinson and Darius Slayton are both questionable. Singletary, I think, is questionable.
As long as you got Tyrone Tracy Jr., you got an
True.
offense, baby.
Tyrone Tracy's been awesome.
Love that guy.
If Neighbors is back, I think the Giants are going to win. The
Yeah,
Eagles just don't play defense.
No, not at all. Not at all. I don't care that they gave up 16 to the Browns. It was the Browns.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad defensive showing against the Browns. 16 points is
exactly.
a lot.
And guess what? If Nick Chubb plays, you probably lost.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to go with a score prediction real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Giants 20, Eagles 14.
Giles. Giants 20, Eagles 16.
Shout out Giles Corey.
Yeah. Shout out Aiden Giles.
Childs.
I know, Grayson. I know.
I know. I was just giving everybody the clarification on what the reference was.
Yeah. You're right.
But also, fuck Aiden Childs.
Yeah, for real.
All right. Next game, Raiders-Rams. Rams, 6.5-point favorite.
Ram and Raiders, baby.
Yeah, I can't stand this.
Yeah.
Unless Cooper Kupp is actually back. If Cooper Kupp's actually back, maybe I care a little bit. But this is just I don't know if I want to see another week of the Raiders ever.
I definitely enjoyed playing them last week.
Yeah,
that was pretty fun.
Tom Brady now officially a part owner of the Raiders. That might change things. Yeah,
really not sure why he did that because it limits him a lot in the new career that he just started. So just a money whore dickhead, I guess, but whatever.
Well, he spent money to get into it, though. That is
true.
Also, sorry, I don't want to cut you off. I know you're about to say something, but
no, you're good.
I saw something apparently on like 2 different sources told the Pat McAfee show that Tom Brady's first move is to like kind of put out the feelers on hiring Bill Belichick to be the head coach. Antonio Pierce just got hired.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucked up.
That's like, well, Antonio Pierce hadn't been as good of a coach as Justin Fields has been at quarterback. I was going to make a comparison there, but it wouldn't have worked.
But also, maybe this could be like Michael Jordan buying the Hornets and then if he were smart, hiring Steve Kerr to be the coach.
Yeah.
Maybe it works out that way.
I don't know. Bill Belichick is so good at his job, though. I really don't want to see him leave. I actually enjoy him. I feel like he's come out of his shell a lot for this, which has been really fun to see.
Yeah, I've watched a few clips of the podcast. It's fun.
Yeah. Got anything about the Rams? I mean, they were on a bye week last week. The
only
Iron
thing
Williams
is that
on the Rams.
Kupp might be back. That's like the only thing.
He was
that
limited
matters.
yesterday. He was limited. Let's actually see. I'm going to check fantasy and see what he was today. Real fast, if it's come out yet.
Yeah, I'm checking right now. It's West Coast, so we don't know just yet. Cooper Kupp limited in practice on Wednesday is the most recent update on ESPN.
Yeah, he should be good. He needs to be good.
Yeah, because the Rams are not without him.
Just crazy looking at this box score. Jordan Whittington,
and he's questionable too.
Well,
Jordan Whittington's questionable. In case anybody was wondering.
Yeah, Blake Corum, get your hands ready. You're playing wide receiver.
What? It's a crazy statement. What is your score prediction here for Raiders Rams?
Rams 24, Raiders 13.
Gotcha. I have an alternate prediction for what I'm going to do when this game comes on the TV, which is change the channel, or stab myself in the eye in a video game. Yeah, give me the Rams for sure. Give me the Rams 7-3. Book it. 10-point game total. 10 points total. Way more fun game to watch because one team's going to kick their ass. Panthers Commanders.
Oh, yeah,
baby. The commies are about to eat. They're about to go fucking bananas. Like this is the perfect matchup. The Panthers can't defend the run whatsoever. The Falcons were one of the worst teams at running the ball for like 4 straight weeks. They go into Carolina and had 2 running backs rush for over 95 yards.
Yeah, and the Commanders have a lot to be happy with that loss against Baltimore.
Oh, genuinely. Yeah, you learned so much from that
It's
game.
one of those losses where you don't even lose a step, I feel like, in your momentum. Like, it's
No.
just fine.
Yeah, and also, they didn't even have Brian Robinson.
And they kept it pretty damn close.
It was a touchdown game without Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson limited at practice, trending towards being back. But even without him, between Jaden Daniels on the ground, who didn't run like at all last week, and they still looked really good, he's going to run this week. Eckler has started to break off a couple of runs here and there. He's been great in the receiving game. Also, Jeremy McNichols cannot be slept on.
No.
I'm done questioning Jeremy McNichols. I like saying his name. It rolls off the tongue. And he's not a bad running back.
Not at all. And Zach Ertz has really come alive, too. He's been a huge underrated factor in this Commanders offense.
He is the veteran presence they needed on this team, especially for Jaden Daniels.
I love how as soon as the Commanders come up, you and I immediately are on our knees. It's the Sauce Gardner show from when we first started.
It is. And it's not just one player. It's everything about this offense.
Yes.
Everything about this offense is amazing. Terry McLaurin probably going to turn it up.
How about the moment where Derrick Henry locked eyes with Marcus Mariota? That was the whole game for me.
That was beautiful.
Loved it.
Beautiful.
Nostalgia.
And after the game, mic'd up. That was great.
I loved it.
Fantastic.
Absolutely loved it. And Jerry McNichols, another Titan, was there with them, which was kind of cool.
It's true.
Yeah.
Panthers are ass, dude. They suck. And Deontay Johnson hasn't practiced yet this week, including today.
Yeah. He's actually been all right, and so is Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard's a huge part of this offense, which I never thought was going to happen.
Jonathan Brooks back to practice. I don't think he's playing, but he's back to practice, so Miles Sanders, start packing up the apartment. You're getting fucking traded, brother.
Oh, man.
The Commanders are going to wipe the floor with them.
Yeah. Michael Jackson had 5 tackles in this game?
Andy Dalton has just been quickly declining after that Raiders win.
Unfortunately, yeah.
And it's also quality
I do like
of
to see him play well.
Quality of opponents has gone up.
Well, they also took Adam Thielen away from him. You know that was like half the reason he was playing so good. So
that's true.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Commanders 38, Panthers, I'll give them 16.
Okay. Tommy Tremble is questionable still after concussing himself.
I don't even think I saw that play.
Yeah, he led with his head into a tackle, which he got fined for. He got fined $15,000 for leading with his head into a tackle, which he got concussed for.
And got blown the fuck up.
I picked him up in fantasy is how high I am on this week. Jatavian Sanders might have a good week. I really like Jatavian Sanders.
The fuck is that?
Dude, it's a rookie. He was great at Texas last year. I think he was one of your sleepers.
Really?
I think so. One of your surprise
I don't
players.
remember him being
Jatavian
one of my
Sanders.
surprise players.
He was definitely, I think he was one of mine. He might not have been just because of Tommy Tremble, but I like Jatavian Sanders.
Definitely not one of my sleepers.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm older than him as well, so that's kind of cool.
Young guy.
See?
But yeah, Jatavian Sanders, don't sleep. Commanders 38, Panthers 13.
Kept it in within 3 of me. We're close.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll let him live another day. How soon is Bryce Young coming back? What are we thinking?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Oh wow. Okay. I was when's the Panthers bye? I was thinking he comes back off the bye as long as it's not too late in the season.
I think it's every week.
That's true. Yeah, they kind of give up by the end of it. Let's see. They are on bye week 11, so they'd have 4 more weeks of Andy Dalton.
But do you think that?
But dude, you know how bad for his confidence it would be for him to come back after this bye, because then you go Kansas City, Tampa, Philly, Dallas.
Yeah,
I'd rather see him for Denver next week.
Yeah.
If things don't go well at Washington this week, I'm going to say maybe Bryce Young against Denver, maybe New Orleans coming to Carolina the next week. I
honestly,
think
if I'm the Panthers, I wouldn't ever bring him back.
No.
Bring him back next season.
Okay, I thought you meant like he's done. I thought you meant like
no
draft a quarterback.
No.
Okay.
No, I let him sit the rest of the season.
Yeah, and then draft an offensive fucking lineman, please.
God,
Okay,
please.
next game, Chiefs 49ers, Super Bowl rematch. 49ers are actually a 1.5-point favorite over the undefeated Chiefs.
What?
That shouldn't be the case whatsoever. This
No.
49ers team has done a pretty good job of finding ways to lose. The defense has looked garbage. Truly so bad on defense right now. And yes, this is a Super Bowl rematch. We're not going to see any familiar faces. No Rashee Rice, no Pacheco, no McCaffrey, probably no Jordan Mason, maybe also no Jawan Jennings, and then Debo is questionable as well.
Damn.
Who's even on the field?
I know that Mahomes and Kelsey are going to play, and that's why the Chiefs are probably going to win.
That's true. That's a recipe for success, and then you throw in Xavier Worthy into the mixture, and it's pretty much done.
What I think makes it weird, though, is the 49ers are still the 49ers, and the Chiefs honestly haven't blown me away this season yet.
The Chiefs haven't had a game where all game I was like, they look good. Or they're going to win.
Even against the Saints.
Yeah.
Even against the Saints. And the Chargers almost got really ugly. And the Bengals, they just lucked out. Completely got lucked out.
And the Falcons.
And the Falcons as well, yeah.
And the Ravens.
And, so Kansas City, you're a fraud.
They are frauds. I don't know. It's tough because, the 49ers have not been good. But every now and then, they just pull something off and look great. I can't quite put my finger on what it is that the 49ers have to unlock. I think Jordan Mason being banged up after last week could be an issue. Garendo was very good. He had that great run at the end of the game that he slid on and let Juszczyk run it in. But I can't go with the 49ers from the way I've watched them. And the Chiefs just keep getting bailed out somehow.
Also, I think the Chiefs' defensive line might eat this game, too. I don't think Brock Purdy and Jordan Mason have really seen a defensive line like this, and it could shock them.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. We saw how the Vikings' defensive line looked against the 49ers. So,
holy God.
I'm going to go with the Chiefs. I'm going to go relatively low scoring, I guess, for this matchup and say Chiefs 21, 49ers 17.
I'm going to go 24-20 Chiefs.
Okay. And also, Jake Moody is questionable.
Yeah, two shout-outs, though. Shout out Travis Kelce for getting it going. I have you in one league, so really appreciate that. And Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah. Yep.
That 50-yard reception, man, I almost teared up.
That was big.
That was the longest reception for that glorified, wide receiver. He's pretty much a tight end now.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was crazy.
All right. Sunday Night Football, the thing you've been hoping we never got to all day.
Man.
Jets, a 2.5-point favorite on the road at Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh. Russie getting the start, most likely. It hasn't technically been confirmed. But he has had first-team snaps all week at practice.
And Justin Fields is projected no points.
Gotcha.
In fantasy.
Russell Wilson is starting. Devontae Adams making his debut for the Jets.
Not worried about him.
Should Mike Williams go to Pittsburgh? Should he just go to the other sideline before the game and just stay there?
I would take Mike Williams or DeAndre Hopkins right now. For sure.
Yeah, I would too.
Sure, you know what, though? It broke my heart, but it finally dawned on me last week that Mike Williams is he's not only not on the same page, he's reading a different fucking book than Aaron Rodgers. Looks like not even a shell. It's like a completely different receiver. It's like Quentin Johnson last season.
Yes.
Watching Mike Williams.
No, Aaron Rodgers wants nothing to do with Mike Williams. I don't know
and
why.
It sucks. But he's a dog.
The thing is he was destined to get overshadowed. Garrett Wilson is this young receiver that, is going to be one of the best in the league and blah, blah, blah. It probably already is.
And Lazard is Aaron's buddy.
Exactly. And Lazard is his child. And then, and so Mike Williams never had a spot there. And then you just bring in Aaron Rodgers' best friend that isn't Nathaniel Hackett to play wide receiver. And Mike Williams, 0 targets this week, guaranteed.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's time to get this out of the way. Everybody's waiting for the Steelers fan to comment on the quarterback situation. Yes. And this is what I have to say, Grayson. You have a quarterback who got in this league very, very young, right? And struggled with a awful team in the Chicago Bears.
Yep.
He comes to Pittsburgh. This was the team he wanted to play for, right? And, he's told at the beginning of the season that he's going to sit behind Russ. Well, then Russ, he's going down the stairs, he's bringing in the groceries, and his whole calf just falls off his leg.
Mr. Unlimited.
So, Mr. Unlimited. So, now Justin Fields comes in, and we're 4-2. It's the most exciting the Steelers offense has looked in a while. He's making pretty decent reads. We haven't had a running quarterback like this since Michael Vick, but if you want to go back further, Cordell Stewart in the 90s with Slash. And again, we're 4-2. He probably has the most confidence and is the most happy he has been since he has gotten to the NFL.
Yeah.
Why fucking take that away from him for a player that we got for free, basically? It is unbelievable. I cannot believe, because what's going to happen is Russ isn't going to play well, and then Justin Fields is going to get it back, but his confidence is going to be shot, and his rhythm's not going to be there. Our offense has been exciting and entertaining, and we've scored more points than usual, but I wouldn't say that, we have a rhythm, especially quarterback and wide receiver wise.
Yeah.
So why make a switch now? I completely disagree with this decision. Russ, you shouldn't have hurt your fucking calf. Sorry.
Welcome to the world of playing quarterbacks with Arthur Smith. It's a fucking nightmare. I just expect these things out of Arthur Smith now. He's ruined. Any job he gets is ruined in my eyes because he's going to make bad decisions. I think it's the wrong decision as well.
Yeah.
Make Justin Fields show you that he shouldn't be the starter. He's only done it, once? He's had one really bad game? It wasn't even really bad. It was, pretty bad.
Yeah.
I think that's what it looks like to me. Look, Russ, sorry you got hurt. That sucks. It was your job, but you lost it. It happens to everybody.
Yeah.
I don't
exactly.
know. It's just, you got to get over it. But nonetheless, Russell Wilson is the starter. And do you think that gives him still a chance? Russ isn't necessarily bad. We just haven't seen him yet.
Well, our running backs have really been getting it going. Najee looks finally like his rookie year with Ben Roethlisberger. Najee looks deadly, bro.
Awesome.
Did you see the ankle breaker last week against? Oh God, Jack Jones, fucking retire. Please, honestly, but nothing's changed with the defense, and with how much the Packers, with how much the Jets throw the ball. I feel like they're just going to get eaten up. They need to give Breece Hall the ball in this game because the Steelers, Deontay Jackson has a lower passer rating when thrown to him. Quarterbacks have a lower passer rating when they're throwing at Deontay Jackson. And if you were to just throw the ball out of bounds every time you drop back to pass. And, Joey Porter Jr. has been great. I don't know. I think the Jets are going to struggle. I've never really seen Devontae Adams have a good game against the Steelers. I think Mike Tomlin plans very well against him. I'm not too worried about it because maybe Russell Wilson will be just good enough.
Okay, fair enough.
Yep.
I'm going to go with the Jets. I think that Rodgers and Adams are going to have some special chemistry to put on display is kind of how I'm feeling. It's just a little bit of a boost having that new face there, or I guess familiar face for Rodgers and Hackett. But I just think it helps the dynamic of this wide receiver room so much, adding him into it. Gives Garrett Wilson the ability to still be a big play guy instead of having to be the reliable every single pass goes to him, which is something he hasn't gotten to do at all in his career. And also gives Lazard the ability to just stay in the slot all game, which is where he's most lethal.
Yeah.
I'm going to go score prediction and say I'm going to go Jets 24, Steelers 13. I don't think it's going to be that good with Russ.
Okay. I'm going to go I'm going to go Steelers 20. Steelers 23, Jets 20.
Okay. All right. Well, we got a Monday Night Football doubleheader this week. Ravens, a 3.5-point favorite on the road versus the Buccaneers. This game kind of just looks pretty good on paper. Bucks haven't exactly been what we wanted them to be the last couple of weeks, but last week, offensively, crazy. They said they were playing for something bigger than football with Hurricane Milton coming through Tampa, but this is it was interesting because Mike Evans not necessarily off to his best start. I'm not really sure why.
No, I think it could be the Chris Godwin show, Grayson. I think that's why. It really is.
Yeah, he's been killing it, which I hate because he's a guy that I constantly say is not as good as Mike Evans.
Yeah.
But I think the Ravens are plenty good to win this, like good enough to win this game. I think it'll be close because I think with the Ravens, for some reason, they just love a close game.
Yeah. No, they really do.
And I think that with how lethal this Buccaneers offense can be, they're going to be able to keep up. I just think that the Ravens maybe do it in a little more cleaned up way. Especially
because I could definitely see. Yeah, Baker probably will throw some picks in this game. He'll probably get sacked a couple times this game, and I don't think there's any way that you're going to have the run game that you did last week against the Saints or for this week against the Ravens. That was just a kind of a fluke. I mean, I hate to say that because they played so well, but like it wasn't real.
Yeah, shout out Sean Tucker.
That's
though.
Not real.
Sean Tucker was like a social media legend in college and in high school.
Never even heard of him until last week.
Dude, he used to have the funniest tweets after his games. Like, he would just be like, he would say like his stat line, it'd be like, and it's like all caps, his stat line. And then just like, I think the team played pretty well today. I think I played okay. Blah, 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 like all this different stuff. And then I think, I can't remember what he would end off all the tweets with. It was something like stay blessed or something. Hold on, I have to find this. What the fuck is this guy's name? I literally just said it. Am I dumb?
Sean
Tucker. Tweets. Here we go. Saturday we won. Syracuse 59, Wagner 0. I'm pleased with the outcome of the game. 5 wins and now a much needed bye week. I'm pleased with my performance, but with 7 games left, I'm still working hard. The grind never stops. I rushed for 232 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 receptions for 15 receiving yards. Hashtag pleased. And the EA is 3-4 because he was number 34.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Sean Tucker's tweets are legendary. I don't think he's going to turn up this week. I'll just go ahead and say that. And I'm going to take the Ravens. I'm going to go probably high scoring. I'm going to go 34-28 Ravens.
34-20 Ravens.
Okay. Like that.
Yeah.
And then our second game, which could also be fun to watch, maybe not as high quality of football, but Chargers 2.5-point favorites on the road versus the Cardinals. I think there's just something fun to see here from both sides.
Yeah. No Marvin Harrison.
Yeah. Yeah.
That kind of sucks.
It does suck.
I still haven't watched the game that he's played in yet. I haven't seen him all season. Seen highlights, yeah, but I just haven't watched the Cardinals game.
Yeah, they're not really getting nationally televised much.
Yeah.
Chargers,
you know what, though?
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, I'm still proud of the Cardinals. Like, yeah, they're 2-4, but they seem competitive. And
yes,
I appreciate that about them.
They do. They are competitive. And I think the Chargers are an interesting opponent for them because the Chargers can look very good. This offense can get rolling, especially with J.K. Dobbins. When he is running the ball well, there's kind of no stopping him right now. And I think the defense, now that they're getting back to full health outside of Bosa, they're heading in the right direction, is what it seems. I think Harbaugh has been a huge part of why this team's just playing better. I think the culture is 10 times better than what we saw from Brandon Staley as the head coach of his team. I feel like the Chargers are just heading in the right path, is where they're at right now.
Yeah, it almost I like how Herbert, and now especially in his career, is having to play without a star wide receiver. It's really been interesting to see him kind of navigate through that, and I think he's gotten better kind of as the season has progressed, and a little bit now that he's healthy as well. And I mean, when J.K. Dobbins is out there healthy, finally, he is just running people down, which has been really, really nice to see. Yeah, and then for the Cardinals, I think that they could definitely keep up in this game for sure. James Conner just needs to have a better game than what he did last week. They kind of got stuffed against the Packers, which really hurt them. And then I've liked what I've seen out of Greg Dortch and Michael Wilson on the Cardinals receiving front, but they're going to need a lot of Trey McBride if they're going to get over the Chargers, I think.
Definitely. I think that the Chargers have enough offense to score the points needed to win this game, and the defense has been good enough that they're going to get stops. That's kind of how it looks like, or what it looks like right now for the Chargers. And for the Cardinals, the offense is fun to watch every now and then, but you're really reliant on James Conner setting you up for success. And if he's not, then you're going to be in for a rude awakening, and the Chargers don't necessarily have the easiest defensive line to get through, even without Bosa.
Why is Joey Bosa a wide receiver in a defensive lineman's body?
What?
Well, I didn't notice it until you pointed it out last year, but he is just a massive wimp.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just no other top tier pass rusher is anything like that.
No.
In the league.
No,
they're all a little bit shifted.
Different. He is different.
Even his brother's a little bit psycho too.
Yeah, dude. The way that there might be nothing more menacing than seeing Nick Bosa in his stance to get ready to pass rush.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like some kind of jungle cat when he's in that stance.
Yeah.
And it is frightening.
Yeah.
If you're a right tackle in the NFL, God, I would I would quit.
I'd
quit.
Yeah. Max Crosby, he's kind of the intimidating, the tough guy, and TJ Watt just loves to fucking punch people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
Score prediction.
Score predictions. What are we thinking?
I really want to take the car. Yeah, vibe pick 26-20 Cardinals. Give it to me. Lock it in.
Vibe pick as well. I love Jim Harbaugh as a person. Chargers 20. I'm going to go weird score here. I don't know why.
Okay.
Chargers 23.
Okay.
Cardinals
12.
Cardinals 13. Not 12, 13. That's a normal
score.
Not a weird score. No, 13's a normal one. 23 is a lot of field goals.
Yeah.
And that's what I think will happen. I don't know if the Chargers are going to score a lot of touchdowns here. Okay. We got two teams on buys. I am blanking on who they are. The Bears and the Cowboys. Thank God we don't have to watch the Cowboys this week.
Yeah.
It means Tom Brady's not going to be covering their game, which is new.
Yeah. He's talked about them all year long, pretty much.
Yeah, I think he's had them like 3 times already.
Maybe 4. Before we jump into MLB, how about that dickhead Jerry Jones threatening to fire that radio host?
Dude, Jerry Jones is the most ignorant dickhead there is. You can't possibly own a team, hire the people to do the radio for you.
Already sketchy as it is there.
Also be the GM of the team and also not be able to take criticism.
Yeah.
You just can't. You can't be the owner and GM of a team and the president and blah, 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 blah. You have every fucking role in this team except quarterback, and he sucks. You might want to. And you can't take any criticism. Meanwhile, your players are getting fucking drilled by everybody, and you're not defending them.
Yeah.
But the second somebody says, maybe you should have made more moves this offseason, you're like, I'm going to fire you. Are you fucking stupid?
Yeah.
He's asking
Crazy,
a valid
dude.
question. The same fucking question everybody else has been wondering. Like when we were, 2 weeks into free agency and all they had done was sign Eric Kendricks, who's been hurt for half the season already? That's all they've done. And they really, they didn't have a good draft necessarily. And I think they've gone about these contract situations with their 3 best players in the entire wrong way.
Toxic. Yes.
Like the fact that Dak got paid first, he's the highest paid quarterback in the league now. CD then got paid, and he's not the highest paid. Still behind Jettas. And Parsons still hasn't gotten paid.
Yeah.
And now he's hurt. Because to me, if I'm Micah Parsons, you didn't pay me this offseason when you could have. Now I'm hurt. I'm gonna milk this injury. He's gonna essentially hold out.
Yeah.
Just by being like, I'm not ready to come back.
Oh, man. You know what that's going to do to Jerry Jones? Oh, dude.
I hope he goes back on the fucking radio and cries about it.
Yeah. But the second that radio host is like, well, maybe if, fired.
Yeah. Or if he offers him a tissue.
Yeah, and on top of that, like going back to offseason acquisitions, you literally looked at your depth chart at running back, said, Rico Dowdle.
Let's get Zeke a week before the season starts or whenever the fuck they got, like right at the start of training camp.
You had Derrick Henry go on to no pivot and not no pivot, and go, yeah, if the Cowboys talked to me, I probably would have signed for them.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy, bro. Dude, the Cowboys are a joke.
Jerry Jones has his priorities so fucking twisted.
But they're straight. They're twisted, but he's straight on them.
Yeah. Yeah. In his head, but
in his head.
Where the fuck did he get the impression that Dak Prescott is Troy Aikman?
Because he's still in the 90s, dog. He doesn't. Yeah. He legitimately doesn't know football anymore. No. He doesn't. Damn, Grayson, we both got hot on this podcast. I like to apologize. This was we've yelled a lot.
We're not apologizing at all.
No, not for Jerry Jones. To the viewers,
for the headphone users. Sorry.
Damn. Russell Wilson and Jerry Jones. Who knew?
No, fuck Jerry Jones. I hate him.
Fuck Russell Wilson.
Every fiber of my being. All right, let's mosey on over to the MLB. In LCS, we'll start there. It started first, so we're going to talk about it first, and then we'll talk about the LCS, and you can talk about the Yankees or whatever you want to do.
All right, I'm just not about to piss myself or anything.
Do you want to take a pee break? We did this last week. No. You're going to make this is this going to be a problem, Luke?
Dude, I still got water left in my Yeti. I'm good for right now.
Okay. All right.
I'm good for right now.
In LCS, game 1. Mets 0, Dodgers 9. They come out, they dominate in game 1. We saw a little bit of it. You heard us talk about it a little bit on Monday's podcast. But the Dodgers shutting out a team once again. They go 33 innings without allowing a run. Unreal.
Yeah.
Tied
Wild.
The postseason record. And then, of course, next game starts, they give up a run in the first inning. Could have broken the record. They didn't. Jack Flaherty.
Honestly,
sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, if, going into that game, I was kind of favoring Kodai over Jack Flaherty. I don't know why. I'm just not a Jack Flaherty guy at all.
Well, what's interesting is that Jack Flaherty has been one of the best pitchers in these playoffs.
Yeah, definitely.
He really has.
Yeah.
He's been unreal.
He has.
And I definitely didn't see that coming, but the Dodgers needed somebody to step up, and he's the only one that has.
Yeah.
Their MVPs doing their thing in this game. Big time performances out of all three of them. I think Betts had 2 RBIs.
Freddie Freeman had 1.
Yeah,
Betts actually had 3.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Mookie had 3. Shohei and Freddie both had 1. And then you go to game 2, and the Mets show up out of nowhere off the back of Sean Manaea. Mets 7, Dodgers 3. Sean Manaea, and Dave Roberts talked about this in his post-game presser. Sean Manaea has turned himself into a pitcher that nobody has seen before, at least from Sean Manaea. He's dropped his arm angle 11 degrees since April.
Wow.
He's now pitching at an arm angle similar to Chris Sale.
That's pretty drastic.
Yeah.
Drastic change.
And Manaea was never like that. He always threw from the outside, but I'm kind of out of frame. He always threw from like out here, probably. Now he's like down here, and it is entirely different how he's going at it. His spin rate is entirely different. The way that his pitches move is astronomical. Like, it is crazy. And like, that's why we saw the Phillies warming up, a couple weeks ago, for Sean Manaea, and they put the pitching machine outside of the L screen, and they still got their asses kicked.
Still got dotted up by Manaea. Yeah, he's been entertaining, man.
Yeah, you just
really
can't,
entertaining.
You can't scout that kind of change.
No.
You can't. There's no scouting report to have on Sean Manaea because you've only really seen him pitch like this a few times this season, and the Dodgers have not faced him since early in the year, and he was looking way different.
Yeah, it's honestly a good trap card
for sure
to change a drastic thing about your pitching in the postseason, where no team is really going to have the chance to like prepare for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I don't know. I kind of like that.
Yeah, and then on the Dodgers side in this game, Tommy Edman tried to make things happen in this game. I think he was 3 for 4. But the problem is the 5 batters ahead of him all went over.
Which is wild.
Yeah, none of them could figure out Manaea. Yeah, the top 5 in that lineup is unreal. And for them to get all no hits is crazy.
Yeah, a lot of offers, when the price of all those guys is just like $1 billion offer.
Exactly.
There's a lot of money there.
Yeah. And then game 3, they woke right back up. Dodgers offense came back to life. Shohei ended his 6-game home run drought, which is like the longest he's gone in like years without hitting a home run. So he ended that drought with a fucking rocket into the top deck in right field. It looked way longer than 397, but it was 115.9 off the bat.
Yeah. He smacked it.
Unreal.
For sure. And how about I was texting you about this last night.
Got a good stat
Walker Buehler.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hear it. I want to hear the stat.
So Walker Buehler, he was fine. He was throwing too many pitches. Luke texted me saying, he's almost at 90 pitches, I think is what you said, or 80 pitches in the 4th inning. He ended
bottom of the 4th, no runs. Yeah, crazy.
Ended this game 90 pitches through 4 innings. He's the first pitcher in postseason history to throw 90 plus pitches in 4 innings pitched or less and not give up a run.
Yeah, I mean, whatever gets it done, I guess.
He must. I didn't go back and look at the numbers. He must have gotten into a number of 3-2 counts or 3-0 counts that he was fighting back in and causing ground outs, whatnot. Because he didn't necessarily strike out a lot of batters either. And I think he was just giving up foul balls too. I think he was just really putting pitches all around the strike zone. And so guys were having to swing at some point.
Yeah, and on the other side, I kind of wanted to shout out Severino. He really wasn't that bad.
No,
it just kind of all fell apart after him. And then Michael Kopech is just happy to be here.
Yeah, dude, the Dodgers bullpen stepped up big time.
Yeah.
Like when Buehler comes out after 4, you're definitely not forecasting that at all. And for that bullpen to show up and get good innings out of a lot of these guys is huge. Because in the postseason, if your guy comes out in the 4th inning, you don't want to use more than probably 4 pitchers for the rest of the game because you got to run it back either the next day or 2 days or a day after that. So you really have to be smart with your bullpen, and they did a great job. We'll say, we talked about this before the podcast started, Lindor's defense, unreal. How is this guy not a Gold Glove finalist every year? He's always been that. Every year that he was with Cleveland, it seemed like he was a finalist or winning it. At shortstop, all of a sudden, he's not.
Yeah, so bizarre. I don't know, what do they base it off of? Where...
It's a bunch of different defensive metrics.
Okay, well then, to that point, show me the metrics of Juan Soto.
I agree. I think it's...
Exactly.
I really don't know how they choose it. I'm going to be honest. I really don't.
Lindor definitely deserves to be there, though, for sure.
I agree. He deserves to be there just about every year.
I wasn't yelling at you just then. Grayson and I were talking pre-recording. Even me as a Yankees fan cannot believe that Juan Soto is a finalist because he just really shouldn't be.
No, it's actually crazy. Game 4 of this series being played tonight as we talk, so you guys will know how Game 4 goes. So potentially the Dodgers have a 3-1 lead, or it is a 2-2 series. Luke, let's talk about the ALCS. The Yankees are up 2-0.
Oh, yeah.
Game 1 goes the Yankees' way in the form of a 5-2 win over the Guardians in New York. Carlos Rodon finally looked great. Finally.
Yeah, really, really good. Yeah. A lot of strikeouts. I think he had 9 and 6, right? 9 and 6 innings?
I believe so.
Yeah, really, really liked what he was doing. But my issue with the Yankees, and this kind of goes across both games, I know that we want to stick on this game, but we're still not scoring the way that we can and the way that we've seen. like against the Royals, you had the tying run or the winning run was a bad call that was reviewed and still a bad call. That ended up being the winning or tying run. And then in game one, just the wild pitches was insane. And the Yankees actually had pretty decent base running. I don't really know how you fucked that up, but still, I'll give them the base running credit there. And then that also, you had the Guardians' really good shortstop, I'm blanking on his name, drop the ball that actually Aaron Judge's pop-up that he dropped registered at LaGuardia Airport. So, I mean, it was high, but it's just like we have capitalized on just Mickey Mouse shit.
Yeah. But then again, that's how you win these kinds of games. Like, this is a Guardians team that's scrappy, and that's how this run through the in the playoffs and throughout this regular season has been. They're not the best team out there. They're not the best roster you could put together for this team. They don't have the best pitching. They don't have a top to bottom lethal batting order. But they go out and they win some games. And typically it's because their opponents didn't capitalize on mistakes, or they did a good job of minimizing the damages from the mistakes and showing up elsewhere. They're not doing that at all right now. That's where the Guardians are losing these games. They are not minimizing the damage. They are not, capitalizing on the other team's mistakes. They're just simply playing how they probably should be on paper.
Yeah, and I think another thing that's really fucked up the Guardians more so than the Royals, especially with Rizzo being back, is the righty-lefty, 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 righty-lefty lineup that the Yankees have, which has just been, like, you can tell it's messing with the pitchers. They're not really able to locate, consistently back to back to back against the batters changing sides. And all of this has been done without Aaron Judge. We would not be here if it wasn't for Gleyber Torres, who I said a couple months ago shouldn't probably ever wear pinstripes again. And here he is, baby. Oh, dude, I am so happy with how this has gone, Grayson. I'm so happy.
It's a fun game to play when you start talking shit about players like halfway through the year and then they make you eat your words. I will say, Stanton and Soto have been unreal with Judge not being great throughout this postseason. One thing I do love about playoff baseball, 6-out, 5-out saves, phenomenal. And Luke Weaver's been doing a great job. Luke Weaver's been fucking unreal. And it's not even like he's just going out and just getting outs. Like, he looks dominant on the mound. Nobody's getting on base.
Yeah, I heard somebody say that they thought that his changeup was second best only to the Williams cat with the Brewers. Yep. Yeah, I was blanking on
Williams
his name.
Cat
but yeah,
is Cat Williams is who you're thinking of.
Yeah, Cat Williams. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, Luke Weaver's changeup is just pure filth.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Pure filth.
Absolutely. But yeah, I love 5- and 6-out saves. Edwin Diaz, I think, has multiple of them throughout this playoff run as well.
Yeah.
All right, game 2, Guardians 3, Yankees 6. So one more run for each team in this one. Soto and Stanton go quiet in this game, and up steps Aaron Judge to hit a huge 2-run home run that makes it a 4-run game. He also had the sac fly earlier to make it 3-0. This was Judge's best performance of the playoffs probably to this point. Tanner Bibby was awful for the Guardians. He was horrendous. But then I will say, outside of Hunter Gaddis, sorry, that's Colin's boy, but outside of Hunter Gaddis, the bullpen stepped up for the Guardians. Just the bats couldn't. The bats just couldn't. Zero contribution out of the second half of that lineup for the Guardians.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And again, just kind of a game where the Yankees weren't really getting too much going. I think the Guardians ended up bringing it back 3-2. And then, we were able to kind of pull away from them again. A lot of walks as well. Mm-hmm. It's not the typical home run, deep ball that we've seen from the Yankees all season long. But, I guess it shows that we can kind of grind out games and we can win games in different ways, which we haven't been able to do for a long time. But, I know this Yankees team can just pound it on. And with how our defense has been, I'm really surprised that we haven't had a game like the Mets and Dodgers have where it's like a 9-0 or a 7-0. Yeah. I'm surprised the Yankees haven't done that to anybody, but, whatever. We're grinding.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. As of right now, this game has already started. We're midway through the third inning for Yankees Guardians game 3. Yankees up 1-0 already.
Oh, God, dude.
So
it's our best path in 20 years, said A-Rod, and he's right.
And guess what? That always comes back to bite you in the ass. Always.
Don't. Oh, dude. If we go to the World Series and lose to the Mets, I may never talk about baseball ever again.
Dude, I won't want to either. I'm going to have to fucking deal with the Mets so many times next year.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to hear the reigning World Series champion New York Mets. I can't. Can't do
Ray,
this, dude.
I have been waiting. There's no secret. It's no secret that I care about the Steelers and the Yankees the most in American sports. Chelsea, probably top 3 favorite team of all time. It has been since 2009 for both of these teams.
Yeah.
I've seen, playing a championship, and this series isn't even over, so we're banging the wood. But I could not be more excited. I'm just so happy with how this has gone. Please do not come back and beat us in this series, Cleveland. I'm begging.
The run was scored. Jose Trevino RBI hit that scored Anthony Volpe. So getting some contribution from the bottom of the lineup.
Oh wow, no Austin Wells.
No Austin Wells.
Okay.
And
John Birdie.
Yeah.
No Rizzo.
Yeah. Probably needs some rest. He's always hurt.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on from baseball. If we get any big updates, we'll give them to you. But let's go over to the Premier League. We haven't gotten to talk about them in about 2 weeks.
I don't know how this analysis is going to go, to be honest.
Yeah, I know, and I think some teams are just a little bit weird right now, and one of them being Fulham. Fulham is a weird team. They are taking on Aston Villa. Now, Villa, hot as you could probably find right now between them and Chelsea. Villa's coming off a UCL victory over Bayern Munich. Obviously, in the Prem, they haven't been fantastic, honestly. They're coming off of draws with Ipswich and Manchester United, which just should not be happening. But prior to that, Villa has just been rolling. And I don't know. I really need to see something here. And Fulham also, they're coming off a 3-2 loss to Man City, which, a close loss to Man City is essentially a draw.
Yeah.
So, look, I think when it comes to Villa, we've talked about this a number of times, but if Villa is healthy, they can beat just about anybody. And they proved it against Bayern.
1,000%. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I think the only reason that you draw against like a funky team like Manchester United is because your Bayern game was 4 days prior.
Yeah.
So, I think there probably could have been a lot of tired players there, but now we're rested. And now we get to play Fulham. So, and Fulham have been a tough opponent, but man, Villa is doing some stuff right now.
Oh, yeah.
Genuinely doing some stuff. And I just don't know if a team like Fulham is going to be able to get over the hump, because I would say, playing Aston Villa is kind of like playing, I don't know, like a genuinely a top 5 team.
Oh,
so I don't know if I don't know how Fulham's going to fare here, to be honest with you.
I think Fulham certainly has the ability to, like, if they need to, they can go out and score goals. And Villa is a squad where if you want to win, obviously if you want to win, you have to score goals. Duh. But if you want to win, you're going to have to score probably multiple goals, because Villa's probably going to get on the score sheet. That's the thing. Like, Fulham's not going to get away with a 1-0 victory here. Luckily for them, a lot of Fulham's victories and even their losses, they're scoring 1 or 2 goals. And they have the 3-1 win over Newcastle a couple of weeks ago, and obviously the 3-2 loss to Manchester City. They are scoring very well, but Villa can do it too. And I think Villa is very good at either matching their opponents or at least, or playing a little bit higher than the level of their opponents and just holding on throughout a match. So I think Fulham gives them a shot, but I think I have to go with Aston Villa, and I'm going to go 2-1.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to go for as well.
Okay, let's go to the next match. We got Newcastle-Brighton. Both of these teams, maybe not as good as they want to be. Brighton had got away with quite a few draws here early on. They had that stretch of 3 straight draws in the Prem. It was Arsenal, then Ipswich, and then Nottingham Forest, which I would like to shout out Ipswich. They've been drawing the shit out of some teams. They're not beating them, but they're drawing them. They're in 17th place. So
hence why I had their goalie.
Yeah, that's true.
In my team of the month for September.
Yeah, they have 4 points, and it's off 4 straight draws, and then they lost their most recent match. But yeah, Newcastle in some odd form, I would say. Obviously, the 3-1 loss to Fulham. Then you have 1-1 with City and 1-1 or 0-0 with Everton. So, you would think you would take that 1-1 with City and be like, okay, that's a great performance. And then you just don't score against Everton, which is a problem. Brighton, on the other hand, coming off a 3-2 win over Tottenham, who have been kind of here and there throughout the year. And then prior to that, a loss 4-2 to Chelsea. I don't know how I feel at all about this game. I will point this out. Newcastle had a lot of guys on international duty. Which means you essentially didn't get a break. Which does kind of suck. Like, I'm pretty sure Bruno, Joelinton both got playing time. I know Bruno did for sure. I don't know about Joelinton. And then pretty sure Livramento and Gordon and maybe one other were all on England duty. So I don't love how it looks right now. And Brighton is a team that just scares me every time because they'll score. They will score a shitload of goals. They've scored 13 goals already this season, but they've also given up 10, which is like the worst out of any team in the top 10 in the league. I'm sure it'll be entertaining. I just don't know how it's really going to go, and I'm starting to trend towards thinking draw.
Yeah, you know that Anthony Gordon played striker for you guys against Everton, right?
What the fuck? Why?
If you want to fuck up a player's career, take a non-striker and play him at striker. And in almost any case,
shout
you're
out
fucked.
Kai Havertz and Mason Mount.
But we're not going to shout out Christoph Nkunku. He is an exception.
But he is pretty much a center forward, so that's
fair.
Play strike.
I don't know how to feel about Newcastle either. I mean, it's nice to have Tonale back because now you have that center mid trio of Guimaraes, Joelinton, and Tonale, which is pretty solid to be honest with you. I love how Lewis Hall's worked his way into the team, the Chelsea Academy player. He looks good, and honestly, the fullbacks, Lewis Hall and Trippier, that's nice.
Yeah,
that's pretty nice.
Yeah, I'm so mad that all I keep hearing is that Trippier is going to leave.
I see that a lot.
That's like the only player that I hear about. Also, why in the fuck did I see that Antony is linked to Newcastle?
Oh, no.
Get that shit out of here right now. Because if we replace Miguel Almiron with Antony, that will be the worst move in history. And I hate Miguel Almiron. I do. If we go from him to Antony, like, put us in the championship. He should not be playing in the Premier League whatsoever, Antony.
Yeah. Some of Newcastle's doubtfuls coming up for this game.
All of them.
Grayson, you might want to cover your ears.
Yeah.
Kieran Trippier, Matt Target, Matt Target, Fabian Schär, Nick Pope, Alexander Isak, and Martin Dubravka. Who is the third goalie for Newcastle, Grayson?
It was Loris Kyrgios last year. I don't know who it is now.
Well, yeah, it's not looking good. I think I'm probably going to have to take Brighton 3-1 here, Gray. I hate to do it, but...
I'm going with a 2-2 draw.
Okay.
Mainly because Brighton's also kind of beat up a little bit. They're missing a Dingra, Pedro.
I don't know. You got to play against Danny Welbeck.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying 2-2, because he's going to score.
Yeah.
Which bothers the fuck out of me.
It's just so weird, dude. So weird.
All right. Last game. Liverpool-Chelsea. How do you feel right now?
Ooh, I don't know. I'm kind of a little bit anxious, Gray, to be honest with you. Chelsea's kind of hit a rut.
Yeah.
It's the flashbacks are coming back, Grayson. It's just it's so annoying. Like the Nottingham Forest game, like with
Collect your thoughts.
5-0, 4-2, 4-2, 1-1 against Nottingham Forest with 10 men?
Brutal.
You cannot drop games like that in the Premier League if you're gonna be good.
Yeah, and like Nottingham Forest is a team that is like the textbook team Chelsea would beat. Nottingham Forest has only scored 7 goals.
Yeah.
That's the kind of team Chelsea takes advantage of. A team that can't score.
Some good news in the Chelsea camp though. Reece James is back to practice, and no, don't even say it. Do not say it because we're gonna manifest that he's never gotten hurt in his entire career. I'm not even gonna talk about past injuries. Reece James is coming back.
Yep. He won't be playing on Boxing Day.
No, he's probably good to get hurt against Liverpool. No score prediction. Reece James gets hurt.
Yeah, just a real prediction, injury prediction. Obviously,
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't happen. Look, I think it does suck that Chelsea's in like a weird spot right now, coming off that Nottingham Forest draw. I do think it plays to their advantage that they got the international break in between that and the Liverpool matchup, because Liverpool's
Very
the team
much
to
so.
beat right now.
They have been murdering people, dude.
Yeah.
Murdering people.
I
was completely
bother
wrong
me.
about them.
It does bother me that Liverpool is top of the table and they're 6-0-1 or 6-1-0. They have one loss, no draws.
Yeah.
So Man City
that is kind of weird.
And Arsenal are undefeated.
Oh, and guess who their one loss was to? Nottingham Forest.
Yeah. So
Which is kind of weird.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see another 1-0 victory over Liverpool.
So I guess what happens is whoever loses this game, Nottingham Forest is better than them.
True. That's true.
Yeah, so this is to decide who's not better than Nottingham Forest or who is better than Nottingham Forest. This game I think is going to be weird. Just kind of with, going back to what I said, Chelsea, weird 1-1 draw, and I just do not know how to feel about it, especially going up against a powerhouse like Liverpool, who have been, their wing play with Luis Diaz and Mohamed Salah is just deadly, and it's making me hope that Salah stays in the Prem. There's no way you get rid of this guy now.
No, unless he's ready to slow down.
I don't know why. You're playing meaningful soccer at a high-ass level right now.
But it hits everybody. Messi was still playing well at Barcelona, and he decided to go to PSG, and he really wasn't playing that bad at PSG either.
I don't know if that was his choice, though.
That's fair. But still, there's a lot of Ronaldo didn't need to go to Saudi Arabia.
He didn't need to go to Juventus either.
Yeah, he needed to get out of Manchester United. That one's for sure.
Oh God, yeah. I still forget about that. Just a weird time.
That was a weird time.
Yeah.
You just had Bruno Fernandes fighting for his life to keep Ronaldo on that team.
Oh, dude, all that Ronaldo could do was just score last minute winners or tires in the Champions League. That was it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that led the way for Marcus Rashford to become the best player in the world for a season.
I'm glad that we started the podcast and got to talk about that. He was ridiculous.
We decided to start this podcast, or we decided to, start talking soccer at the right time. We literally the first episode you were on this podcast, we were previewing the World Cup.
Yeah. Wild to think about, dude.
Yeah, we lucked out timing wise.
And that Marcus Rashford run was just incredible.
Yeah, we got Marcus Rashford's that run. We had Erling Haaland record-setting debut season in the Premier League. We really lucked out. What's your score prediction for Liverpool-Chelsea?
Yeah, sorry, we kind of got off there.
Yeah, we did. It happens.
Oh, God, dude, this is... Obviously can't pick against Chelsea.
For the sake of accuracy.
I'm going to take Chelsea 3-2.
Okay. I'm going to take Liverpool 2-1. You convinced me when talking about the wing play.
It's been disgusting.
Yeah. And, Mohamed Salah is probably going to put Reece James in, or I guess they won't match up. Luis Diaz is going to just put Reece James right back on the ground. Okay, rest of the matches we've got this week. Not a lot of great ones, honestly. Got Spurs West Ham, which isn't too bad. Fulham Villa, Ipswich Everton, Manchester United Brentford, Newcastle Brighton, Southampton versus Leicester, and Bournemouth Arsenal is standalone on Saturday. Gross. Sunday, Wolves versus Man City. And then Liverpool, Chelsea, and then we do have a Monday match, that being Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace. We got a Friday match next week as well. It's a garbage matchup, Leicester versus Nottingham Forest, but a Friday match nonetheless.
Dude, I'm just tickled by Arsenal Bournemouth standalone game.
Yeah. Like, what in the fuck made that the standalone game on Saturday when you have Spurs West Ham, which is a London rivalry, which that one is standalone. It's 7:30 in the morning U.S. time. You have Newcastle Brighton and Fulham Villa playing at the same time at 10 o'clock. Why?
Unbelievable, dude.
Why? Okay. Let's go over to some European competition. Some Champions League to talk about here. It's been I don't know what my thoughts are just yet with the league play system.
Yeah.
I think I have to see a full season of it play out before I really have opinions. Maybe I have to see like through the league part and into the knockout stages before I realize like, okay, I like this or I don't. I do love that we're getting a ton of matches each time they play. I love that.
That's nice, yeah.
I never really like. It was hard to keep up with when it was like, oh, like okay, these teams are playing this week, these teams are playing next week. But like it just didn't work. Every team plays every other week, and it just works. It just seems right to me. Maybe that's the NFL fan in me that just needs everybody to play in the same week.
Yeah.
Obviously, they do it across 2 days, but I think that's just where that might come from. But we'll just run through the matches real quick, and we'll kind of stop on the good ones. We got Milan versus Club Brugge. Milan been a huge underperformer as of right now. They just have a shit draw to start. Could get a win there. Monaco versus Red Star Belgrade. PSG versus PSV. Juventus versus Stuttgart. Arsenal versus Shakhtar. Aston Villa versus Bologna. Girona versus Bratislava, Sturm Graz versus Sporting. That's a bad one. It's just a bad week. And then luckily, the saving grace on Tuesday potentially is Real Madrid Dortmund, which is a championship rematch from last year. Didn't expect either of these teams to be in the positions that they're at. Dortmund is number 1 in the table right now. Real Madrid 17th.
Yeah, and Brest is hot on Dortmund's tail.
Yes, Brest is following quickly behind them. What are we thinking right now with Dortmund? Because, looking at this team on paper, you probably didn't assume they'd be in this position, and all of a sudden they are.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. They got rid of a lot of players in the offseason. You had Royce and Füllkrug leaving, and you didn't really do anything. And now, I don't know, it's just they have a really good team. They're playing super well right now. I don't know how they're doing in Bundesliga, to be honest, but
I think they're somewhere up in the top 5.
Yeah, in the Champions League, they're going to be fine. And, with how the Champions League has been, they might have a chance against Real Madrid.
They're actually 7th right now in the Bundesliga, so they might want to win the Champions League if they want to be back there next year.
Real Madrid is getting all of the passion. There's no Bundesliga passion right
now. No. And on the Real Madrid side, what's not working? Like, what loses to Lille last time out? Like that. That's just it doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know. I haven't really seen really any Real Madrid games this year, but like
me neither.
I don't know. I think you could have the problem of too many chefs in the kitchen.
I think it is true.
It's kind of how I'm feeling.
I think that's why I'm quickly starting to consider that like Vinny leaving is a real possibility.
Yeah, which just sucks because it was totally his team.
Yeah,
totally his team.
When he walked in, it was his team. Especially once he started really turning it up early on. Yeah. It was his team all the way because Benzema was on the way out. And Modric and Kroos are aging, and obviously Kroos is now retired. Like it was the spot for Vinny, and he was killing it. And then they got Bellingham, and Bellingham just kind of became the name, whether he was the key contributor or not. He was the name. Yeah. And now you have Mbappe, and it just seems like Vinny's third fiddle.
Yeah, and I feel like they're honestly taking him for granted over there, at least like the management is. And especially, with the troubles that Vinny has had with the fans, I totally like him moving. Yeah. I would love to see it.
My only thing is if he stays in La Liga, he's going to face the same issues. You can't go to Serie A. It's only worse. And the Bundesliga is maybe not a high enough level unless he's going to Bayern Munich. He has to go to the Prem.
Oh, shit. Oh, dude, he's going to have to play for Chelsea. Damn it.
Oh, shucks. No, dude, of course he's going to be on fucking Man City. They're just going to take Doku out for him. It's that easy.
Man, I got it. I hope not, dude.
I
hope
how
not.
Fucking obnoxious that would be.
Yeah, that would be horrible.
Talk about
because
being third on the team. He'd be third again, most likely.
Well, I don't know. With Pep, though, I feel like Pep's the kind of guy that's like, I don't care that there's too many chefs in the kitchen. Y'all are all going to perform.
There's 11 chefs in the kitchen in Pep's mind.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be interesting.
I don't know, but Real Madrid, Dortmund, who knows?
Yeah, maybe Vinny.
Honestly, who knows?
Vinny is one of the players, though, that I will say he can play striker. You can play him out of position as striker.
Yeah, he did prove it a couple times in Real Madrid, so yeah.
So that would make him a very interesting player in the Prem. If you could throw him as striker, shit, he could be on Liverpool next year. They love putting players out of position as striker.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, let's go to Wednesday's games. We have got... I passed right by him. Atalanta versus Celtic. Gross. Atalanta's actually not been that bad, but Celtic has been horrible. Your second in the table, Brest, taking on Leverkusen.
Leverkusen, yeah.
An interesting matchup. I don't really have much to say necessarily. I just like to give some love to Brest. I just like saying the name. And also they're killing it.
They are killing it.
This is number 2 versus number 4 in the table right now.
Yeah, they're a fun story to follow. I kind of hope that they keep it up, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think the issue is that like they've played shit opponents to start. Yeah. So I could see their demise coming rather soon. But you know, we'll have fun while it lasts. Speaking of having fun while it lasts, Man City versus Sparta Praha. I'm sure Man City will be loving that one. And then we get to maybe the biggest matchup of the week, Leipzig versus Liverpool. And Leipzig are 0-2 right now in the elimination zone. And it's all because they've had one of the toughest draws to start out of anybody. They had to play Juve and Atleti. That's fucking brutal.
Yeah, those are two very physical, just run the whole time teams.
Yeah, and now Leipzig comes into their third match, and they have to play the top team in the Premier League right now.
Yeah, who pretty much has Cristiano Ronaldo and Gareth Bale on the wing, so they're completely shit on. I don't know how Leipzig is going to, I just, the only thing I can see Leipzig capitalizing on is Liverpool maybe being tired from the Premier League. That's the only chance you have. But you're also playing later in the week as well, so they're going to be more rested. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup. I think when it comes down to it, Liverpool just on paper looks better. Leipzig not necessarily looking great. Even in those close losses that they've had, they haven't looked great. So I definitely favor Liverpool in this one. Our next big one, Barcelona versus Bayern Munich.
Yeah, this would have been so good 7 years ago.
Yeah, dude. If Pep was the manager of one of these teams, I would care.
Yeah. I mean, I'm literally feeling like 1-1.
Yeah. No, this is the emotional fight between the clubs of Thiago Alcantara. That's like the first player that came to mind between those two clubs. I don't know why.
I'm trying to think of another player who's played at both. Now that you said that,
Ter Stegen didn't play at Bayern, did he?
I don't think so. No.
There hasn't been a lot of Germans on Barcelona, to my knowledge.
No, and there's plenty on Bayern.
Yeah. There was some center back.
Ribéry played for Barcelona, did he not?
Wait,
we got to check this now.
Franck Ribéry actually has an
on.
extremely confusing career path, and I do think you might be right. No, he did not. He played like all around France, and then spent a year at Galatasaray, then Marseille, and then from Marseille went to Bayern.
Okay.
Did not play at Barcelona. Maybe you're thinking of Arjen Robben playing for Real Madrid. I don't know. He also has
Robben played for Chelsea?
Yeah, he has a very interesting career path. He was very good at Chelsea.
He was.
All right. Bayern, Barcelona. I don't really know. Barcelona's been killing it in La Liga, goals-wise. What?
for some obvious ones.
Is there?
Lewandowski?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Arturo Vidal?
Yeah, that one's a little bit more forgettable. I would say. Coutinho is a pretty obvious one. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we're stupid.
Damn.
Lewandowski was
we kind of shit the bed on that one.
He's playing in this game. Yeah, that was a lapse of judgment.
I just totally forgot about him whenever he moved to Barcelona. My bad.
Yeah. There was some German center back that was there recently. He was like a depth guy. But I don't think he played at Bayern. It's the only German I could think of. I never consider the guys that weren't German that played for Bayern. Obviously, the first player I named was Thiago Alcantara, but he was a little bit more important. Not than Lewandowski, but than Coutinho for sure. Barcelona, Bayern. I don't know. Barcelona's been pretty good. Bayern's obviously very good. So, but also Bayern got upset by Aston Villa last week, so maybe not. We have Atleti versus Lille, which could be an interesting matchup. Atletico Madrid coming off of some interesting games. Lille coming off an upset victory over Real Madrid. So, if you could beat Real Madrid, who's to say you can't beat Atletico Madrid?
Very true. Got to run the Madrid gauntlet.
Yeah, we're looking at Jonathan David, man. He's becoming increasingly interested from Premier League teams, is what I'm hearing.
Interesting.
And also, I heard that Barcelona's got their eyes on him as a potential Lewandowski replacement.
Probably a decent idea.
Yeah, I like Jonathan David a lot. Shout out.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't really know how that game's going to go, but it's whatever. They're just interesting teams at the moment. Last three games, you got Benfica, Feyenoord, Salzburg versus Dinamo, and Young Boys versus Inter. So I have a quick question. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to just say not a lot of good games.
No,
but,
not a lot of good games. There's a few.
Still Champions League.
Yeah, so. I think that is one thing that is tough about this format, is that most weeks a majority of the games are not going to be good.
Yeah.
That's just kind of how it's going to go. Okay, so with the Champions League, as of right now, what are your thoughts with how it's looked? Because I think it's more exciting because we have a lot more games going on at once, but it's a little bit harder to follow.
Very much harder to follow.
I'm glad we're in the same spot with that because.
But a lot of it, at the group stages is like you said earlier, it's spread out between like 2 weeks of teams playing each other. So how could it not be easier to follow?
Yeah.
But I don't know really what I favor because I really don't mind this. I thought I was going to dislike it a lot more. Mm-hmm. But, with the group stage, it's not a quick turnaround. So
that's true.
I don't know. I kind of like having all the games.
What I do like is that we don't have to see them play again. Because that was the worst thing in like a group with like one dominating team. I don't want to see fucking, Bayern Munich play Celtic twice.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to see that happen. In this format, we get to see a different opponent each week, which does make it fun because then it's not like the turnaround isn't horrible. Like that turnaround sucked in the group stage.
And again, though, I think I kind of liked the aspect of one home and one away. It makes the game have a little bit more of an edge to it. I feel like in a way.
I do think that like tiering the teams before we've even seen them get on the field is a little bit of a flawed process. But there's no other way to do it like that.
Florida State was ranked number 10.
That's a good point. That's a great point.
So. Yeah. Man, we got to be the only podcast that makes references like that from soccer to freaking college football.
Yeah. No. Nobody else is doing that. If I had to guess, if there is other people, hit us up. I would love to, pick your brain.
Touch base.
Yeah, please. And like I'm sure there's nobody wearing the outfit I'm wearing talking about soccer. And nobody's talking about soccer in an FSU starter jacket that was literally bought in the late 80s. And then a Falcons hat. I got some baseball pennants on the wall. I got a Dominique Wilkins jersey up. Nobody in this scenario talks about soccer.
Yeah, like look at my fan.
What about it?
That was kind of the joke there, is it just made no sense.
Oh,
sorry.
I thought you were making more of a joke at like you have air conditioning, which
No.
all of London does not have.
What?
Yeah, air conditioning is not a common thing in
that's
like Europe.
right.
In all of Europe.
Yeah, I remember in Italy. Yeah, you're right. I remember there being no air conditioning.
Yeah, I was staying in hostels in the middle of the summer. It was hot as shit.
Yeah.
Luckily, the one in London actually did have AC. But
That's
the one
good.
in Paris did not, and it was fucking hot.
Yeah, that
So
sucks,
hot.
dude.
Okay.
Going to bed in that.
yeah. I cannot sleep hot. That's gross.
Yep.
Okay. We're actually back to it. We're back to questions time. No more fun time, no riffing this week. Just good old questions time.
Good old questions time.
Nathan did switch things up a little bit. I did not read them yet, though. All he said was that there was some fun twists. So,
fuck, Nathan, I gotta pee, dude. Come on.
I'm seeing these. I'm seeing these questions for the first time.
With a fun little twist. What are you, 39?
Yeah, fucking.
All right.
Rumpelstiltskin, you fucking weirdo.
Sorry, Nathan. I miss you. I love you, brother.
Oh, okay. So the name or the title, back at it again with some fun hypotheticals. So
Okay.
I believe it's all hypotheticals. If a team full of wide receivers played a team full of DBs in 7-on-7, who would win?
I'm gonna go DBs.
I would too, because of physicality.
Yeah. Yes.
I feel like when it comes to that, like, now, are the DBs going to have, a better catch radius and blah, blah, blah? No, of course not. But if we're saying, like, we're getting great quarterbacks on both sides, why not the DBs? They're going to lock them down. That's the thing. Like I assure you, Jalen Ramsey could probably run a hell of a route.
Yeah. Once or twice.
But, like, Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra St. Brown, they're not putting the locks on somebody.
No.
Now, those are both shorter wide receivers, so that was kind of a bad choice. But, like, Mike Evans probably is not putting the locks on somebody.
No, I don't think so.
So I think it's going to the DBs. If you had to trade your team's starting quarterback 1-for-1 for another team for their quarterback, but it has to be a fair trade, who would you want? This is interesting.
It is interesting because I'm trading Russell Wilson.
No, I want to hear both. I want to hear what's the even trade for Fields, what's the even trade for Russ.
Oh, dude, that's actually like...
I've got a lot to think about with Kirk because this is really going to show how much I value Kirk Cousins. I might say some crazy shit.
Yeah. Fuck, dude. Russell Wilson? Could I get Baker?
No. I think you could get, let's say, and we're saying all the quarterbacks in the league are healthy. I think you could get Derek Carr. Derek Carr and Russ, maybe even, kind of. I don't know.
Geno Smith?
I'm a Geno hater. I might go with you, but the general public might not. I don't know if there's a lot of quarterbacks that you're in conversation with right now, man.
No, there's not.
Maybe Bo Nix.
Yeah. With Justin Fields, I would take Aaron Rodgers.
Oh,
I feel like you could do that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I think when you factor in age, I think you could maybe get away with that.
Yeah. I would probably take Kirk Cousins.
Well, nah.
For Fields.
No.
Yes.
Not fair.
Yes.
Not a fair trade whatsoever.
Dude, he's an Atlanta boy. You got that home field.
That ship has sailed, buddy. We tried. We tried with two straight Atlanta boys. One of them is withering away in Cleveland, and the other one just got benched. So I'll stick to old Kirkio. I'm trying to think what quarterback I could get for Kirk, because I do really want to make sure this is fair. And the only thing I could think of is that I want somebody younger.
What about Anthony Richardson for Kirk?
Nah. Kirk clears with consistency.
True, but Anthony Richardson hadn't had enough time to prove consistency yet.
Speaking of not having time, what about a guy who hasn't gotten a chance to prove consistency yet? What about Sam Darnold? Is that a fair trade?
For Kirk, yeah, I think so.
Okay. What
I
about
mean, it probably would have
what
been
about
more
Brock
fair if
Purdy?
you asked like week 2.
What about Brock Purdy?
Nah, I don't think so.
Oh, yeah? I hope Mike hears this. Me and Mike argued for about 30 minutes in Discord on Thursday about Brock Purdy's status as a quarterback.
What did y'all? What was his side and what was your side?
His side was that Brock Purdy is mid to bad. More on the bad side, it seemed like.
Absolutely not.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
And his whole argument is that he hasn't played with anybody else. It's like half the fucking quarterbacks in the league. He hasn't played.
Yeah.
So stupid.
Yeah.
Dumb argument. I don't care. Me and Mike will probably argue about it again tonight. I think Brock Purdy and Kirk is like relatively even. Especially if we're talking how they're playing right now.
Yeah. Pretty even right now.
Okay. What about Tua? A healthy Tua. No head injuries. Tua. Would Kirk be even?
With how Kirk is right now, I would say so. Okay. Yeah. Again. Okay. I value Kirk.
I do too. I do too. But I don't want to, I can't just be like Jaden Daniels or fucking Lamar Jackson. Like I can't. Yeah. That's not an even trade. No. All right. This next question is in Spanish, and it does say that we have to respond in Spanish as well. So I will read it in Spanish. Okay. We have to respond in Spanish. I might struggle with the response, but ¿Quién es tu atleta latino favorito? He said atleta, which is whatever. And then it says, responde en español, por favor.
Delfinamente Juan Soto.
I don't know how to say all the time.
Todo el tiempo.
Todo tiempo. It hit my brain as soon as you started to say it. Todo tiempo. David Ortiz.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a pretty good one, yeah.
What about soccer? Favorite Latino soccer player? I guess Messi. Messi's pretty easy. Sorry.
Para mí,
Fácil.
Creo que Guillermo Ochoa.
Oh.
Yeah.
Me gusta.
Me gusta la pared de México.
Chucky Lozano as well.
Oh, Jose Ramos, por supuesto. Good changer. Good changer.
You said Ramos or Ramirez?
I don't know his name.
Ramirez. It's Jose Ramirez. I said good changeup.
Yeah.
I broke the rules that whole time. I'm so dusty on Spanish. I forgot all the the vocab, which is the worst thing to forget. It's really hard to speak Spanish without vocab. If you could improve your NFL team at one position only, what would you upgrade? Let me guess for you is wide receiver.
I'd probably say D-line or edge for you.
Yeah.
Edge. You said wide receiver?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to upgrade the receiving core.
Dude, we need one of these guys. Who did we say earlier? D-Hop and who? Who was the other guy? Mike Williams.
Yeah, Mike Williams.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, what do you think? So you do think it's wide receiver?
Yeah, and if we were smart and didn't start Russell Wilson, I would give the Titans just straight up Russell Wilson for D-Hop.
I think personally for the Falcons,
and if we had to, I'd give up a third round. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Fair enough. I think personally for the Falcons, it's corner. I'm still so not in on AJ Terrell.
He's very 50-50. Yeah. He does good stuff, but then again, he just looks like an idiot.
He's not physical enough to keep up with the modern wide receiver builds.
Yeah. Did you? Oh my God! Did you see Ryan Clark talking to AJ Terrell? And he's like, "I was on the sideline for that 2019 national championship game," and he literally looked at AJ Terrell and he was like, "I remember watching Jamar do a whole lot of."
Yeah.
Big
physical wide receiver. How crazy is that? If you
could, Jamar?
Oh, sorry, that was the same one. Is punting or kicking harder?
I disagree. Kicking. Kicking is a lot more here than punting, I think.
Ooh,
so I would definitely say kicking for sure, because the mind is probably 75%.
Punting is so tactical.
Yeah.
It's very
No
much
pressure,
skill based. No,
Yeah,
there's a
I don't
lot
think
of
there's a lot of
pressure with
pressure.
punting.
I don't think there is.
If
Not
you
like kicking.
If you fuck up your punt, you're putting the other team at like a huge advantage.
Very true, but I for some reason I don't feel like punters worry about that like kickers do.
They definitely do. It's their one
I don't-
shot. It's their one chance.
I don't know, man.
You're telling me
Punters
a guy.
just-
You're telling me a guy. Let's say, we'll take end of the game out of the picture here. You're telling me that a punter who shanks a punt and sends it out like 20 yards past the line of scrimmage isn't just as upset as a kicker that misses a field goal early in a game.
I'm saying they'll be upset, but I don't think punters worry about that happening like a kicker worries about fucking up trying to get his team points in a game.
I don't know, man. I think punting is much more of like a skill thing. Like it is very much like if you aren't good at every single aspect of punting, you're probably not a good punter. Whereas there are kickers that are like a field goal specialist or a plate kick, like whatever. They're like specialists in kicking. If you're a good punter, you have to be good at everything.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just think that they get less worried. But you know what video you should watch if you haven't already? I think his name is Steven Koch, the Ravens punter for a long time. Mm-hmm. He has a video on NFL Films where he's literally like doing pitch grips with a football.
Yeah.
And showing it like what happens. And that's amazing. Like that is wild. And Johnny Hecker's another one too. He's really good.
Yeah. I don't know. I think kicking has more pressure. I think punting as a skill is probably harder.
That's
when
fair.
You're talking about at the NFL level, what you have to be capable of.
Yeah.
Game on the line, who do you want to make a 55-yard field goal?
Chris Boswell.
Fair enough. I wouldn't sleep on Younghoe Koo.
I wouldn't either. I definitely would not either.
If we're going all time, Vinatieri. That man just
Vinatieri?
Yeah, whatever. However you say it. Vinatieri.
Is he too old for you?
No.
I remember him very well.
Yes, I remember. I remember very well. Just say his name different. You say Bengals. Don't fucking judge me on how I say shit. I have to hear you say Bengals 500 fucking times every week.
The Bengals, dude. Not the Bengals. Bengals. The Bengals is a band.
No, you say Bengals.
Bengals?
Yeah.
I've never noticed that.
Yes. I'm glad you know that well.
Now I'm never going to look at myself the same again.
I thought you were well aware of that. I've pointed that out to Nathan before.
Oh, I did not know.
All right. Well, that's good. Yeah, I always just thought it was Thierry because I thought there was an I before the E. Maybe I'm just misspelling it in my head, and that's why I mispronounce it.
Maybe. There was something I was gonna say. Oh, we were talking about who could like kick a clutch field goal, basically. Trying to think of some other guys. Kind of off topic. You know what's a sad downfall to watch before your own eyes?
Justin Tucker.
Greg the Leg.
Oh, Justin Tucker.
Well,
also.
I think Tucker's been serviceable, but Greg the Leg
he's missed a lot of field goals this year.
I hate it for him. He used to be awesome.
Yeah, he was pretty good. Oh, what about who was Brett Maher? That was brutal to watch.
Yeah, Brett Maher. Damn.
I was offering him a job at second and short.
Yeah.
He might take it. It's still on the table.
That'd be kind of cool. Get a kicker opinion on here.
Yeah. I can't think of any other names where I just know like I need a knockdown guy.
Jake Moody?
Nah. Evan McPherson in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That run when he was a rookie was unreal. The run to the Super Bowl.
Roberto Aguayo in college.
Right. No. Oh, okay. Yeah. I can get behind that. I can get behind that. Even Ricky Aguayo in college was damn good.
Yeah.
Ryan Fitzpatrick right now. Not Ryan Fitzpatrick. Ryan Fitzgerald. Yeah. Sorry. That's our current kicker at Florida State.
Oh.
Ryan Fitzgerald.
Yeah. Aiden Burr's pretty good.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech kicker. He's all right.
He's good. Okay, there's a bonus question here. Crazy fucking question.
Okay.
Not a bad question at all. Just a crazy topic for the podcast.
Okay.
It says, bonus question. When was the last time you were genuinely happy? That's fucking existential as shit.
Damn.
That's kind of insane.
We got to cut the tape.
I don't.
Do you have an answer? Because I don't really know.
I can't necessarily pinpoint it. I'm pretty happy right now.
I think I am too. Yeah.
This is a tough ass question that you put on us here, Nathan.
You know, maybe like just a feeling of just like exhilaration.
Yeah. Okay.
Like constantly, I'd probably have to go Vegas trip.
The Vegas trip was extremely fun. I don't think there was any.
Yeah.
There was no downs. Like we were losing money, and we didn't care. Not.
Yeah. Your dad won me some.
Irresponsible way. That's true. Yeah. Not in an irresponsible way. Like we didn't care. It was just like we were having so much fun that like it didn't even matter. So yeah, I think that would be a good like a good memory of happiness. To point out. Yeah.
Why do I think about the hotel room more than like almost anything else about that trip?
Yeah. That was a pretty fun part of it. Hanging out
when we were just pre-gaming.
Yeah,
that was like really fun. Playing card games. Yeah, we had a good time.
Not that like I like how we were pre-gaming, going to play card games by playing card games. We were just
they don't have Ring of Fire.
That's true. Yeah,
in Vegas,
you can't play Ring of Fire at the tables.
Wow.
Nathan, that's a deep ass question to be asking. it's a little too much for a Thursday at 6:45.
But I will say the Vegas trip, like I've been happy since then, but the Vegas trip was just like peak.
Yeah, it was extremely fun.
So
extremely fun.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's questions time. It's an odd note to end things on. Obviously, if you guys are listening right now, make sure you're subscribed here on YouTube. If you're on the
comment
podcast
last time
platform,
you were happy.
Yeah, sure. Comment that.
Yeah.
Also comment who's gonna win Sunday Night Football, Jets Steelers. Yeah, obviously like and subscribe here on YouTube. Rate 5 stars. Give us a follow on the podcast platforms, and follow us on Instagram. Join the Second Short subreddit. r/2nd short, and you can submit your own questions. Maybe don't ask ones that like take a lot of existential thinking.
I was stressed out over here.
Yeah, dude, I was like freaking out in my head. I'm like, I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna answer that. But join the Second Short subreddit. If you haven't watched it, watch the college football show. Came out yesterday at 3 p.m. as you're listening. Killing it on the picks over there, so you got to make sure you see that so you can get some picks before Saturday. Luke, anything for the people before we get out of here?
Yeah. You know how I feel about Mike Tomlin.
Whoa.
It's starting to kind of waver a little bit.
But how is your mind going to change when you guys get the last wild card spot this year?
Like it does every year, baby. We're bought in.
Yeah. All right. Mike Tomlin will never get fired. All right. That's a great way to end the episode. Thank you guys for watching, listening, liking, subscribing, commenting, all that stuff you guys do. Thank you to Luke, as per usual, for joining me here.
Of course.
I will see you guys with Colin on Monday, then again on the Second and Short College Football Show, then right back here next Friday with Luke once again. Enjoy the football this weekend. Enjoy the other type of football this weekend. Enjoy it in the middle of the week.
Texas, Georgia, baby.
Texas, Georgia this week. All right.
Yeah.
Horns down. We'll see you guys later. Peace.